There was a very interesting video with 50 Cent. And he was saying, like, back in the 2000s, tour promoters would come to 50 and Eminem and say, hey, we're going to offer you all this money to go on these tours. Because at that point, like, 50, G Unit, M, I mean, I can only imagine the money that was being offered. So 50 being 50, he was like gung ho. And Eminem was like, nah, I'm good. And 50 said he didn't understand why M would turn down all this money. And he said he finally understood when he went to M's daughter's Hailie's wedding and he saw M give away Hailie and the love they had for each other. And that's when he got it. Like Eminem sacrificed a lot of money to be there for Hailie. Like from the very beginning, if you're an Eminem fan, you know that he's always talked about Hailie. Now, a lot of times when a guy says, oh my God, I love my daughter, I love my son. But then years later, you find out that their relationship isn't the best. Like I remember like Sugar Ray Leonard, and there was like commercial back in the day because I saw it as a kid. It was Sugar Ray and Little Ray, and it was like, oh my God, father and son. But then as the years went along, you learn that Little Ray didn't have a great relationship with Sugar Ray because Sugar Ray loved being Sugar Ray, like, and that's the rub. Like, what happens if you're very ambitious and you love being a star and you want out there trying to make money? It doesn't have to be superstar. It could just be a businessman who's a CEO or VP. And in his head, he's feeling like, hey, I'm doing this for y'all. I'm making money for y'all. I'm giving y'all security, right? That's how 50 Cent is. 50 Cent is like, I'm trying to make this money. You know, this is, you know, I'm doing this for my kids. I'm doing this for my family and getting this security. And plus I'm trying to fulfill my ambitions of being a success. Right. So you can't fault a person for that. It's just long term, it hurts your relationship. If you do have a kid, like 50 has I don't know how it is now, but with his oldest son, he doesn't have a good relationship. Right now, that's partly because of the baby moms, and that's a whole thing going on there. I haven't heard about any about them lately, so I'll have to check that out. But when 50 saw M with Hailie, it's like, oh, okay, I get it. And M, it wasn't just Hailie. He had Hailie. I think he adopted Kim's sister's daughter. And I think he adopted Kim had another kid that M adopted. So he had a house full of kids. And this is the same time, even though he sacrificed that money, he was home, he was still had addiction issues in the 2000s. On that song, Somebody Save Me with Jelly Roll. He's still apologizing to Hailie for what she saw when he had his addiction issues and for the fact that he still missed like recitals and things like that. Just because, yeah, he might have gone on these big tours, these world tours, but he still was a star, and he still probably did like mini tours someplace, or had things that he had to do as an artist. So it did take him away from Hailie from time to time, and he still feels bad about that, even though he was home most of the time. Denzel, I think the guys today and women too who are in that position are a lot better than back in the day. Back in the day, man, them dudes were like kids. I'm out of here. I gotta work. I think like the first guy I heard try to do something like that was Denzel. Denzel always said that he would try to be home every weekend for his family. So Paulette, his wife, basically raised John David and the rest of the kids. But Denzel had in his contract that he would be home every weekend for the kids. So he tried, right? We got M. You look at LeBron, like LeBron, to be play for this is 22nd season, to be that dedicated to the game, it does take you away from the training, the massages, the hyperbaric chambers, the surgery, probably the minor surgeries he's had, because we never hear about it. I'm sure he's had minor surgeries. That does take away from your kids, but he's always done a good job of being at the games. Like he seems like he's a really good dad, and he always said like Savannah James is a godsend because basically he knows if she wasn't in the picture, he might not be as good of a father because she's there. And again, LeBron didn't grow up with a father. It was just him and his mom. But he also had the Walker family who brought him in for a couple of years when he was in middle school that helped him out. And he also had father figures. So LeBron, luckily for LeBron, he had men in his life, black men in his life who kind of showed him. And then coaches too, like Dan Brott, his first coach, and Drew Joyce, his second coach, who kind of showed him what it is to be a man and to be a father. So LeBron had that a bit, so it did kind of help him out because he was like 18, 19 when he had Bronny. So, so LeBron has done his best. Like Melo, like you see Melo with his kids. So these guys I think they're doing a great job handling being a star, but at the same time being there for the kid. But I'm sure it's difficult. Like I'm sure there's a lot of people who went for their success, and they have a strange relationship with their child, even though they love their kid. The kid feels like, yeah, you made all this money, but where were you when I needed you? It's tough. So in the comments below, can you give me other examples of people who are like Eminem, who sacrifice money or even sacrifice their career a little bit for their family? They still had a career. It wasn't like they just totally disappeared. They still had their career, but they feel like my relationship with my son and my daughter is more important than all this money. A lot of people don't make that choice. Eminem did.